5 minutes away from 8. And here we are live and unleashed here from Central Portsmouth. Thanks for your company tonight. FM, DAB, online as always at expressfm.com. And hello to you in Waterlooville tonight. Hello to you in Havant, Emsworth, Hayden Island, Lee Park, Weedhawk Farm, all over the back of the hill, all over the city, all over Fairham and Gosport as well. Thanks for tuning in to us tonight and being part of the show as well. Let's turn to financial matters. We touched a little bit on this subject last week, of course. Doing it again this week with the Work Out Your Money project in terms of Havinson's advice, of course. And Fiona Ross is the lead on that, and she's on the line with us now. Fiona, good evening to you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Chris. Good evening to you.
Thanks for coming on. Lovely to catch up with you and chat about finances, which actually at the moment with the way things are, we could do with a bit of a hand, a bit of advice, couldn't we, really?
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
We could also do with any sort of benefits out there or child trust fund accounts that are probably hidden, and could be just a lucky find.
Yeah, well, this is it. I mean, we're a bit reluctant, aren't we, sometimes to really sort of dig deep and find out what we're entitled to.
Precisely, yeah. Actually, this week, there's a couple of proactive things we're doing, Chris. This is our benefits checker week. So our advisor assistance advice and Havant are actually out in the community, and people can come to them and friendly face and chat, whether just to find out if they're entitled to any particular benefits that they're not sure of. And you mentioned, I think, all your listeners are in all the areas that we're going to be in. Tomorrow we're in Weedhawk Farm in the food bank, but we've also got venues at Havant Asda. We're on the balcony in the Meridian Centre where our offices are. We're in Waterlooville, Emsworth, lots of places. So hopefully there's lots of people listening tonight that'll be able to have a chat with us and see if they're entitled to any benefits they've missed.
Well, this is it, isn't it? And the people don't like to claim things, even though they're probably entitled to it. But I'm guessing there's some people out there thinking, well, is it really for me? Am I entitled to it? They're not sure. I'm guessing, you can provide the answers to us.
Well, I think there's also the fact that the eligibility criteria changes as well.
Yeah.
So whilst you might not have been eligible a year ago, there might be change in your circumstances or indeed the actual criteria, and there's something out there. And just to give you an idea, I mean, these are some staggering figures we've got tonight, but we know there's £23 billion worth of support that is set to go unclaimed in 2024. And some of these big areas are around universal credit, pension credit, carers allowance, even council tax support and child benefit. So there's lots of areas that that we can help on. And we do actually have a benefits checker if someone wanted to go on. It's an introduction on the Citizens Advice org website, but sometimes it doesn't actually work on an individual basis. So that's why we're actually approaching people and trying to help on a personal basis as well.
Okay, so it's really a one-to-one as well. That's the kind of thing, isn't it, really? There's plenty of some of these things are better face-to-face anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. And it's much more personal. Yeah. I think it's very hard to pick up the phone sometimes or to walk into an office. So it's nice when we actually come to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So that sort of face-to-face contact is probably better than that. But, I mean, this is this project you've been doing for some time now, though, Fiona, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 10 years.
Is it really?
10 years ago, yeah,
wow.
2014. So on the school side, I've seen just over 9,000 children in that time.
Yeah.
And that would be for financial education workshops that we particularly, run. And those schools were very much originally around the Waterlooville and Havant area and around Lee Park, but we have sort of expanded into other parts of Hampshire as well.
So it's really sort of blossomed out and gone into other parts of the county, which is a great success, really, of all the hard work that you've done. I mean, this was only supposed to be like a year, wasn't it, originally?
Yeah, originally our funding from the National Lottery was for 2 or 3 years, but we've because we've got the evidence and the success rate there, we've been very fortunate to secure funding year after year. But we're always working hard on the funding part. Obviously, every charity is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, particularly more so even now. I'm guessing that this sort of service that you're providing here is more needed than ever before. But with the current cost of living crisis, of course.
Yes, I mean obviously the main Citizens Advice will always secure funding to train up the advisors, get the volunteers on board. But for the schools, it can be particularly hard to find the funding. We actually have an Adeva community matching fund crowdfunder at the moment, and our project is called Work Out Your Money, Reaching Further. And the reason we're doing this is because we need the funds to be able to carry out these workshops in schools, because schools and colleges struggle to fund them themselves. And that's one of the reasons why I'm talking to you tonight, to let people know about missing funds, especially for children aged 13 to 22. It's quite an important age group, because they were the children who originally qualified for Child Trust funds.
Right, okay.
And you probably saw this on our ITV programme, Chris. I think you were tuning in.
And then I was watching the news, and then up you popped. So I know.
Well, the more sort of publicity we can get around this, the more children we can actually reunite with their accounts. So that was a fantastic opportunity. That's
quite a wide age sort of range, really, as you say there, 3 to 22.
It is. But the particular dates are the 1st of September 2002 to the 2nd of January 2011, and the condition is they were born in the UK. So if you were born in that age group, or somebody like a grandchild or a child, it's very important to ask them, where is your Child Trust fund? Because what we find is, if we go into colleges and schools and we're talking to them, they look at us and they think, well, a Child Trust fund really doesn't sound like something for us. It has a little bit of a middle class ring to it, and we really have to hammer home. No, if you were born in those dates and you were born in the UK, you will have a Child Trust fund. And then the penny drops, and we can start sort of asking the relevant questions to find out if they know where it is. So there were 6 million children who qualified for Child Trust funds back in that time. And the idea was, the government sent out, or HMRC sent out, a voucher for the family to invest in a particular type of an account, which was a Child Trust fund account. And the amount varied depending on the income of the family. So it was either £250 or £500. And in some cases, at 7, they qualified for a second voucher of the same amount. And the problem here is that, as you can imagine, paper goes missing, falls down the back of the couch, the dog eats it or whatever, and these never got invested. And unfortunately, there were 1.8 million accounts not opened by the parents or guardians. They were actually opened by HMRC. So there's a very strong likelihood that we have a lot of young children who don't even know where the Child Trust fund is. So that is our mission at the moment, and has been for a while. Yeah.
So you can do some background work on this. Is it quite complex, this sort of situation then, Fiona? I'm guessing it is.
It's once they actually establish they're born in those dates, and they're born in the UK, it's actually really simple to claim their lost Child Trust funds.
Okay.
There are 2 free ways of doing it, and I'm going to make sure when I say free, we emphasise that, because as you can imagine, Chris, you get companies that jump on board and start asking for fees and percentages.
Yes.
This is absolutely free, and there are 2 ways to do it. There is via the HMRC Government Gateway, so a trusted website, and also ShareFound. And that is the link for that is called findctf.sharefound.org. And both of those are free. All they need is our national insurance number and their date of birth, and then the tracing service will find out where it is, and then they can go about actually finding it and basically claiming it, really.
Okay, so the best really port of call is to come to you. Work out your money, and you can sort of take on the work and find this money.
Yeah, we can help. We can definitely help. It's what we're doing at the moment is we're going into schools and colleges. We're talking directly to the students, and then they're actually getting onto the websites and claiming it themselves.
Wow. Okay.
But there's some very interesting figures I'll share with you now that when you're ready, that will certainly get, I think, a lot of people thinking that they need to get on and find it.
Well, this is it. I mean, what sort of figures are we talking here then, Fiona?
Well, since they start maturing, so they start in September 2020. The first children turned 18, and when we clocked the figures at April 2023, the unclaimed rate for mature Child Trust funds was 42%. So nearly half didn't access the money that's in the account. So when you think about that, that's, somewhere between, £1,000 and £2,000 that an 18-year-old could make a significant difference to their life with that money. And they hadn't touched it. And there's an element that could be, that they know where it is, but they've simply left it there, maybe inertia, or, they're not quite sure what to do and they think it's safe to leave it where it is. That's fine. But what we do know is that there's 1 million young people that actually haven't touched their accounts, and 70% of those were opened by HMRC originally. So that point that point I made earlier on, they didn't invest the voucher originally. They still don't know where it is. So there's a very large percentage that actually haven't touched it, that weren't opened by them in the first place. And the striking figure here is that 1 million, the 1 million young people, the amount of money in their accounts totaled £2 billion.
Wow. So we're talking quite a lot of money here. We're talking great sums here. Yeah.
We are. 2 billion waiting to be claimed by 1 million young people. And many of those are on, were families that had income support at the time when their child was born.
It is worth doing, isn't it? You don't really want to lose the money. I'm guessing if it's not claimed, it just goes back into the pot, is it?
Well, eventually, with a lot of unclaimed funds, they're always available, but at some stage, these could be donated to charities or good causes down the line, and it's more important that the young person finds it and obviously claims it as their own and does something with it that's worthwhile in their life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, people want to find out more about this, Fiona. How can they do that? How can they get involved with this?
Okay, if you actually even just Google "Find My Lost Child Trust Fund," it should bring up the two trusted websites, which are HMRC Government Gateway and the findcts.sharefound.org website. So those two are definitely free, and all they need is their national insurance number and their date of birth. If they're unsure, they can contact us through our Work Out Your Money website and just drop us a line, and we can direct them through the right avenues as well. But also, Chris, if people work, we've got teachers, obviously, and colleges, universities, and youth groups. If there's anybody that actually would like a workshop to help their young people, and for us to talk to them, we'd be very willing to do that as well.
Brilliant stuff. Okay, and again, they can contact you via the website and arrange that. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Yep. Fiona, a pleasure as always. It's lovely talking to you, lovely catching up with you. Do you know, I've just worked out Saturday listening to you talking here, so we must have been dealing with this for the last 10 years then?
Yes.
On and off, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember you coming in first time round when it's launching.
That's right. So we've been doing the financial education workshops. I think it's also important to mention, Chris, that not only do these children need to find their child trust funds, but they also need to know what to do with the money when they get it, so that they don't just blow it. And that's really what our workshops are about. Yeah. Now we're hoping that our Aviva community crowdfunder will actually help. If somebody's interested in supporting a good cause like this, they can make a donation, even as little as £5, and that will help us do more workshops and reach more young people as well. Okay, and again, how can people get involved in that? How can they support you? Our Aviva workshop, our Aviva Community Fund, the name of our project is Work Out Your Money, Reaching Further. And if they do Aviva, Work Out Your Money, Reaching Further, it'll actually bring them to the page, and it'll have all the information that I've gone through now and all we've done and all we're planning to do as well once the crowdfunder is finished. Fabulous stuff. Fiona, it's a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for coming on tonight, and we won't leave us along next time. Good luck with this, this campaign, because it's very important that people claim what they deserve, really, isn't it? And especially at these times at the moment, you don't want to lose it, that's the thing. But it's great to hear that the youngsters actually been quite proactive too in this. Yes. Yeah, when we did our ITV Tonight programme, we found, I always say there's one in every classroom that doesn't know where the Child Trust Fund is. And we found that one, and he went on to find his Child Trust Fund. Wow. And it made such a fabulous difference to his life. So good. Yeah, that story is on our website, if anybody, and it's obviously on ITVX, the 18th of April. If anybody wants to see it as well. But Chris, you're an absolute star for letting us speak tonight. It's a pleasure as always, Fiona. Keep in touch. Always nice to come back to stories like this, and certainly positive ones like this. It's quite nice, isn't it? When you get a good result, I think it's quite rewarding. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And there's no underlying, there's no trick or anything to this. There are lots of people out there that are simply qualified for an accountant. Just need to find it.
Exactly. Fiona Ross, thanks for coming on tonight. Good to talk to you, lovely. Regards to everyone there. Talk soon.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, lovely.
Cheers,
Take
Chris.
care. Bye-bye.
Now. Take care.
Fiona Ross there. And, of course, Work Out Your Money campaign and some fabulous work that they do as well. And if you want to get involved in that, as Fiona said there, of course, just do a Google search, Work Out Your Money campaign, and you find all the information you need to know. It's, look at the time, 10 to 8.
Express FM. What's on